Hello and welcome. This is the Handicap Snip daily racing preview service for Monday the 23rd of July. We're going to start on each one of these videos with the advised bets for the day. So I'll go through those straight away now. First bet on Monday is going to be in the first race at Ayr for 1:30, and Richard Fahey sends his 2-year-old here, and it literally looks a match race. There's 1 point to win on number 2, Axelrod. Was a good second on racecourse debut, and in receipt of £7 from his only serious rival. Should prove very, very hard to beat. 1 point win, Axelrod. The second bet on Monday is in the 2:30 at Ayr. This is a 5 furlong handicap, and the bet is 2:30 Ayr, number 1, Batten the Hatches. 1 point win. 2:30 Ayr, Batten the Hatches. 1 point win. The third bet on Monday is in the Ayr 3:35, and it's number 4 on the card, Acadian Angel. Half a point each way. Half a point each way, Acadian Angel, 3:35 Ayr. The next bet on Monday is in the 2:15 at Cartmel. It's a maiden hurdle, and it's number 5 on the card, Beach Break. 2 points to win, Beach Break. 2:15 Cartmel, Beach Break. 2 points to win. And the final bet on Monday is in the 7 o'clock at Beverley. This is the Beverley card. 7 o'clock at Beverley. Bondi Beach Boy, number 8 on the card. Bondi Beach Boy. Half point each way. 0.5 points each way. Bondi Beach Boy. Okay, those are all the bets for Monday. If you are not interested in hearing my discussion, you can switch the video off. But if you'd like to hear what I've got to say, I'm going to go through the cards now one by one and give you some horses to note down, put horses for your notebook and predictions for the future, and I hope you find it interesting. So I'm going to switch back to Ayr right now. Typical Monday card at Ayr, full of class 5 and 6 handicaps. Starts off with this 2-year-old race, and literally it looks a match between the Fahey horse and the O'Mara horse. And I've got a strong preference for the one getting the weight from the other. So that's why I made it a bet. Just 1 point. Hopefully that will give us a little profit. So we start going through some of these handicaps. Now this one here, the 2 o'clock, is a class 6 over 6 furlongs. There are a few in here. This is going to be a common theme. We've got several 3-year-olds. In particular, this one here from Keith Dalglish, Cobblard Queen, and the Tim Easterby one. 2 3-year-olds who may prove, very well treated, getting weight for age from the older horses. So this is going to be happening throughout this card at Ayr, if you look. And at this time of year, the 3-year-olds are starting to develop, and they can quite easily overturn the older horses. There's a very interesting horse here called Palavicini Run, who's an ex-Irish mare, and she's dropped significantly in grade and in the handicap marks. Linda Perrett's taken her from an Irish trainer. It's 25 to 1. She's interesting. I would put her in your notebook. When she shows signs of getting into some form, I'm certain they'll place her to win. So that's an interesting horse, but I couldn't find a bet in the 2 o'clock. Batten the Hatches, it was a high class 3-year-old. It's dropped down the ratings and it gets into a class 4. He normally runs in class 2 and class 3. I'm just hopeful with the favourite here penalised for winning and up to a higher mark. Just hopeful that this 4-year-old can defeat the 3-year-olds, and that the favourite is vulnerable. That's why it's a 1-point win. 305 is an interesting race here. I very, very nearly advised Royal Duchess as a bet, but what I'm going to suggest you do is put Royal Duchess, trained by Lucy Normile, in your tracker. This horse has won 4 times over course and distance, I believe. It's 8 years old. It's not won for about 3 years, but certainly capable of winning, and went very close over course and distance last time out. But you have got several 3-year-olds in this race, and also it's drawn 10, which is not a big negative at Ayr being drawn 10, but it's not ideal. So it wasn't a big enough price for me to put it up as a bet. But definitely she's one to watch out for. Could definitely go close in the near future. This is also another interesting race here, and I decided this was worth a bet. 335. Acadian Angel. The blinkers go on. This horse has dropped 9 or 10 pounds in 3 or 4 runs. Ran much better 3 starts ago at Haydock, when third. The blinkers go on first time. It's got a nice draw in stall 4. It has got this favourite to beat, but I think could definitely run well. It is a weak Class 6, and I expect all the action to be taking place amongst the horses at the top of the weights. Get a nice track through, and hopefully the blinkers do the trick. Half a point each way. I think we'll definitely get a run for our money. This next race here, and the 410 features a very strong favourite in this horse called Covilla. And it's been running exceptionally well. Ran well at Chester on its latest start. And I have checked through the opposition. And it's very, very weak indeed. Very weak opposition. It's going to be hard to beat this horse, Covilla. I don't think it's worth betting it at the price, but I just wanted to point one out to you, though. One horse in here. Put this horse, Wasm, number 5, Wasm. I don't think it's ready on Monday to win, but this horse is exceptionally well treated when it gets some cut in the ground. When the rain comes in the autumn, in September time, this horse is going to be exceptionally well treated. And I'll just pop his career up for you. Put this horse in your tracker. I use the ATR tracker at the races. But whatever tracker you're using, put this horse in, because he has been rated only a few runs ago as high as 75, and he's down to 59 now. I've got no doubt that Ruth Carr and James Sullivan, they'll place this horse to good advantage when he gets ideal conditions, and he can be landing a touch for them. Wasm, 410. The 440 is a bit better. It's a 0 to 80, Class 4. And again, this is a situation where we've got 4 3-year-olds taking on older horses. Now, Gwaun, number 3, and Testarossa both got multiple winning form over this course and distance. The top weight, remember the days, is also a course and distance winner. But the 3 3-year-olds are 5 to 2, 3 to 1, and 3 to 1 co-favourites, because they're expected to have too much for the older horses. Again, that's going to be a recurring theme. There we go. There's the apprentice race. Follows that. I won't be doing many summer jumps meetings, but I do like Cartmel, and this is a very weak race. The 2:15, and it's literally, in my mind, a 2-horse race between the mare, 7-year-old mare, Lucker Lady. This is a maiden hurdle, and the 4-year-old Beach Break. Now, Lucker Lady's not been out for 66 days. Does get Richard Johnson on board. Ran well in a couple of handicaps, but really coming off a break, and as a mare, I don't see why Beach Break, who's been running very well, and he just got touched off couple of weeks ago at Worcester. He's fit, he's hard fit, and I expect him to take a lot of beating. That's why it's a 2-point win bet. We do have dangers from the James Moffat yard. There was one other that caught my eye, but really it looks a 2-horse race, and I think the hard fitness will make all the difference. Quick look at the Windsor card. In this 540 handicap, I very nearly advised you an each way bet on this horse, tripartite. But there's no guarantee that's a definite trier. We've got a strong favourite in the race who I can't bet, but I'm going to suggest you put this horse, tripartite, in your tracker, because having had a couple of runs now, they'll be looking for a race for this horse to win. It's well handicapped, can definitely win soon. I also very nearly advised the win bet here on number 1 in the 610. This is a Fillies Novice Auctions race. Happy Odyssey. Finished second on debut at Lingfield, where it had Ginger Nut in behind it. Ginger Nut went on and won the Super Sprint at Newbury on Saturday. And then Happy Odyssey won a very nice race at Newmarket on his second start 25 days ago. Hood goes on first time. It's got a nice draw in stall 4. I just didn't think 3-1 was that big a value, given the fact that you could be bumping into something that might be decent. So one of the dangers looks to be this Stay Classy. But anyway, I'll put that in your notebook. Happy Odyssey. Okay. Next race on the card was the Fillies handicap. I've got nothing to say about that. I've got nothing to say about this qualifier. The only thing I was going to say in this 710, this horse here, Quench Dolly, it's had a little break of 51 days, probably need the run. They put the £5 claiming jockey on, who's the favourite of the month. This horse is well handicapped. It ran well in a Class 2. It's a mare. Could put that in your tracker as well. I'm going to skip over this Fillies handicap. And in this maiden stakes, there's no doubt that William Haggis's Classic is one of the bets of the day, probably. And doesn't look like there are a lot of... it's a maiden over a mile and a quarter. It don't look like there are many powerful yards sending top horses here. You've got a newcomer from Clive Cox, always worth paying attention to any market moves. But Classic, William Haggis really should be winning that race. Too short for a bet. And the last race is another handicap. And again, they've got the same thing here. We've got 3-year-olds in the shape of the bottom 5 are all 3-year-olds. And you've got a Stout horse and a Ralph Beckett horse, Ed Walker and Amanda Perrett. All these good yards, all with 3-year-olds taking on the older horses. Sir Plato does like this course and distance. He's a front runner. If he gets out on the lead, he could be very dangerous. He did that 2 starts ago. He was just nailed right on the line. But I'm expecting one of these 3-year-olds to be too good. And in fact, 6 of the last 7 renewals of this particular race have been won by 3-year-olds. Okay? That's the win. Just a quick look at Beverley. If you are looking at Beverley in the evening, 6:30, there's a very nice filly making a second start called Queen Jojo. She ran very well over course and distance at Beverley on her first start, finishing second. Can't bet her at the price. There may be, strong newcomers like the one from James Gibbon, first time up. So, and there's a Fahy one for Cheveley Park Stud, first time up. But this Queen Jojo, she ran very well. She's been tipped up well. Going to go off short. But just watch out for that. Now, there's a load of I've had a half a point each way advised. 7 o'clock on this old horse here, Bondi Beach Boy. He ran very well over course and distance a couple of starts ago. He's on a good mark. I know he's 9 years old, but got a good jockey on board. He's got a decent draw. There's going to be a lot of pace on here. And he can certainly run a race. And at double figure odds, it was worth a small each way bet. The rest of the card is exceptionally difficult, and I couldn't find anything for you. This is another horse to put in your notebook. It's in the 8 o'clock Theodorico, trained by David Loughnane. He's very well handicapped at the moment, but he probably wants softer ground that he's going to get here. And they will be looking to place him to advantage. He hasn't run for 58 days. This is probably a prep run, getting him ready. Couple of runs now, get ready, and when some rain comes, he can be winning. So put him in your notebook, Theodorico, 8 o'clock Beverley. There we go. I hope that's of some interest to you. If you need to know what the bets are, you can replay the video from the start. They're in the first 3 minutes. Hope that's of some interest. I'll speak to you all tomorrow.